What's up, everyone? This is JML for Lo-Fi Legacy Beats. Um, let's talk about the MPC and Maschine, preferably the new MPCs, the one, the Live, the X. So here's the thing: people say, "Well, why y'all didn't buy this one? Because of the bugs and stuff." I guess But now there are no bugs. But here's the thing: they say the CPU is not powerful enough to handle it. Right, it is powerful enough to handle it, but the problem is the way Native Instruments program their sounds with all the effects on not only the group, but a lot of effects on the sound as well. So, and then another thing you got to take into consideration is that if you load up a group, sometimes an instrument might be on the pad, which takes up a lot of the processing power also. So, with that said, I don't think they were looking at it to the point where they were expecting you to do full-fledged songs on here, but like start it and then finish it in the software maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. But so when you load up a sound or a group, basically, a lot of effects load up. Like I got this loaded up right now, and this is the group page, right? So there's like, so if you start with the compression, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 effects loaded up just on this one group. Then if I go to the sound, right, that's 1, 2. Now I've already took some of the effects off, so actually let me go back to browser, right, and reload that up. So now let me go back to the sounds. That way, so we're gonna start at pad 1, 2. There's a reverb. Pad 3, nothing. Pad 4, nothing. Pad 5, 6, a reverb. Pad 7, nothing. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you got 2 effects on that one, right? 14, 1 effect. Wait a minute. That says 2 effects. Let me move over. Okay, 2. Yeah, so 2 effects on that one. Then you got 4 effects like on this one. And like I say, this is actually the bass line. Then here's the bass line. So it's 2. So you have a lot of effects loaded up on the sound. So now if I go over to the MPC, right? So let's load up, let's start a new project. Don't save. That'll clear everything out, basically. And so let's go to menu, let's go to browser, let's go here. So let's see here. That's what we're gonna choose here. Who may have a lot of instruments loaded up on here? Let's do Pure Platinum. All right. So Pure Platinum. I don't know. It's hip hop kit, right? So now, if I go to menu, to main, and push on the eyeball, for the whole program, I have an error maximizer for the whole program, right? That's for the whole program. So let's go to mix. So yeah, so for the whole program, it's only an error maximizer. Now how much CPU am I using? 9%, people. All right. So let's go to OK. Now let's go to menu and go to pad mixer. So on pad A, pad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No other effects are loaded up, okay? Because each pad can hold 4 effects. So if you got 16 times 4, do the math, people. Plus the 4 effects on the whole program. Okay, so now with this Maschine, if I was to take all the effects away, let's do that. Okay, this is the sound portion, so we're taking all the effects away. Oh, I ain't mean to take it. Oh, you know what? Go back, load it up again. All right, let's go back here. Sorry, y'all. So, all right, scoot over that way. All right, go over that way. Now let's go back to the group. So here's the group. So let's just leave what they have on their air maximizer on the MPC over there. They don't have a maximizer on here, so we're just gonna leave the limiter, okay? Let's erase everything but the limiter. All right. So now with everything erased, with the limiter, we're down to 12%. So we're talking about 3% more than what on the MPC. So that's what I'm saying. People say, well, the CPU uses. If I bet you, if I loaded up all the effects, let's go to the main page. If I go and load up, let's do Air Music Technology. Let's close that. Let's load up a chorus. Select. Let's load up a delay. Let's load up a enhancer. Alright. Go back to main. What did it jump up to? It was at 9%. So it's at 7% now, right? Now, let's go. Okay, now, let's go back and let's go to the mix. This would be for, this is a track mix. This is a track mixer right here. This is not even the pads yet, so right? So now let's load up an amp simulation on that. Let's load up a chorus on that. Let's load up a, so now we got 4 effects. Well, let's get, wait a minute, I'm sorry we didn't get that one yet. So let's do enhancer. Let's do expander. All right, close that out. What we jump up to now? Look at that. We at 11. We at 11%. You see what I'm talking about? So now, if I go up and load up another 4 effects, right? Let's do channel strip. Boom. Let's do chorus. Boom. Let's do air compressor. Let's do a diode clip. Now, where we at? Look at that. We at 14%. And that's only with 2 pads. So what I'm saying is, the MPC doesn't load all the effects up, so you got to go in and add your effects to the sound or the group. All right. Unlike Maschine, we're down to what, 14%, and we got only the limiter, and that's on the group. But you gotta realize we also got a synthesizer. That's the whole synth, okay? Because if I get rid of that synthesizer, right? Now it jumps down to 5-6%. You see what I'm saying? Because you gotta realize the synths and the effects take up a lot of CPU power. Unlike the MPC, you gotta go into and grab a tube synth, right? Let's see how much CPU now, since we got a tube synth on it now. So 14% still the tube synth. So we got that on that track, right? Let's change this tube synth to something more powerful, like an OPX. Now, let's see what CPU at now. See, CPU jumped up to 19, it's fluctuating between 15-20%. See what I'm saying? So cents take up more CPU, more memory. So I would not say that the CPU, I can say that's the case, then I can say the problem is the CPU in both of them, because if I load up a lot of cents and effects, it's going to take up CPU. One thing about the Kai MPC, it doesn't load a lot of effects when you load a group of program, okay? Here, a program is considered a group. When you load a group up here on the Maschine, it loads a lot of effects, so your CPU is taxed already. So, hopefully they will do a firmware where it won't load up all the effects on these sounds, okay? It's just some of the effects that you may need, and then you can add the rest and stuff. So, yeah. So I seen a guy, I don't even talk about this yet, but so that's what I'm saying about this, okay? So now that y'all know the Maschine is legit, but now the price, right? So if you bought this brand new, it's $12.99, okay? And you get 4 outputs plus 2 mains. I'll give you 6 outputs, 2 inputs, well, 4 inputs, 1 phono, 2 1/4-inch jacks, right? And 1 headphone output. So basically, kind of like 7 outputs. And then you get gain for your sampling. Now, in order to hook a mic up to this, you gotta put maybe a gain on one of the channels to increase, if that's a dynamic mic, that is. To because I tried to hook a regular mic to it, and without putting that gain on there, it wasn't doing it. This one has a microphone input. Okay, so you only get the 2 inputs, 2 outputs, headphone output. And you got the microphone gain. That'll be So 3 inputs, 3 outputs, basically. 1 is for the mic. And 1 MIDI in, 1 MIDI out, and 2 USB ports, A ports, and 1 USB B port. Okay. Here you have 2 USB A ports, 1 the weird one that come with the Akai stuff, B port, and 2 MIDI in, 2 MIDI out, and SD cord in the back, XD cord on the side. This cannot use an internal hard drive. You can put an internal hard drive into this one. This runs on batteries, but I rarely ever use the battery, y'all. I don't even use the speaker. So, but other than that, so now y'all know the difference as far as why the CPUs. So really ain't nothing really wrong with the CPU. With this, it's just loaded with all the effects on it. So it's draining the CPU as soon as you load up a sound, a group. This one not doing it because it doesn't load all the, it don't load with a lot of effects on it, so, or instruments. So there you have it, people. So they both are good to me. This is a really good sequencer because another thing I want to talk about, right? So this is the MIDI Flex 4 by Nectar. So basically you have these first 2 MIDI ports can be in or out. The last 2 only out only. So you can have 4 MIDI outputs, or 2 MIDI inputs, 2 MIDI outputs, or 1 MIDI input and 3 MIDI outputs. So by hooking it up to the MPC, I'll go to menu and go to MIDI sync. So as you can see, there's the MIDI Flex right there. So now I got 6 MIDI outputs because I got the 2 right here in the back plus these 4 right here. And I can sequence all of this. Okay. All right. And then, but on this, right, the MIDI is kind of different. So I'm going to explain to y'all, right? So you go to settings, scroll to MIDI. So if you're going to use your MIDI, so you want to sequence something else, you turn the arm MIDI out, right? Now, if I would have had that Nectar hooked up, that would have showed up too. But I still could have leave it right here and don't have to put it on those because it's going to do all the MIDI outs anyway. So this is all you mess with. That's it. Now you go to macros, you go to sound, and you go to MIDI output, right? Then you scroll over to MIDI, right? This is where you put whatever MIDI channel you want on and whatever you're going to be using for your MIDI output. So if I had a Nectar hooked up, again, I would choose whatever MIDI port on the Nectar I'm going to use or whatever. Because then you will have 5 MIDI outs, because you will have the one Maschine output and 4 on the Nectar over there. Okay, so but then you choose with this knob MIDI destination machine. So some use the machine just that, and this is all you mess with. Now you see this input, you can scroll over. Now you got MIDI default channel, right? Don't mess with this at all. But one thing about this is make sure that through is on. Okay? Don't mess with none of this stuff though. Alright, MIDI source. You can have it on default, or you can have it on all. But technically just leave it on default. You don't need to mess with none of that for real. Because the MIDI source is just saying, okay, I'm only coming from all outputs, but we already know that, so you ain't gotta mess with that at all. So just leave it on default, leave it on all, make sure that through is on. Okay, then when you go to group, right, I'm sorry, when you go to group, then you go to routing, right, put it on manual, leave it on manual. This one you really don't have to mess with either. You know what I'm saying? So you actually, technically, you can leave it off. Don't mess with that either. So on group, leave it off, and everything will work just right for you. All right? And, of course, the MPC, make sure that sync is on all the ones you're using and track. Sync is for when if you're going to sync it, and track is just for when you're going to use track. So now the MIDI inputs, if you're going to use those, you can, leave it on track. You don't have to mess with nothing else on that. And what else? If you're syncing, make sure enable MIDI ports are on, and make sure SYN is on if you're syncing. Okay? And that's good. You're good with that. So that's all I want to talk about. This is JMF for Lo-Fi Legacy Beats. Peace out.